Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most iconic and collectible coins in American history, the United States $quarter dated 1776 to 1976. If you're a coin collector, history lover, or someone who just found this coin in your pocket change and wondered if it's worth something, you're in the right place. Because this bicentennial quarter isn't just a piece of currency, it's a piece of American heritage. To mark the 200th anniversary of American independence, the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial coins in 1975 and 1976. Among them, the $quarter stood out with its unique reverse design. Instead of the traditional eagle, this coin features a colonial drummer boy with a torch of victory, a powerful image celebrating the spirit of the American Revolution. On the obverse, it still shows George Washington, but with dual dates, 1776 to 1976. That's what makes this coin so instantly recognizable and special, but not all 1776 to 1976 quarters are created equal. Millions were produced, but only certain types, and certain errors, can fetch big money in today's market. Let's break it down. There are two main types of these bicentennial quarters: the standard copper-nickel clad version made for circulation, and the 40% silver version, which was sold in special collector sets. If you're holding a regular quarter with no mint mark or with AD, for Denver, chances are it's a common one. But if it has an S mint mark, that means it was minted in San Francisco, and depending on whether it's a proof or silver version, it could be far more valuable. Now here's where it gets exciting for collectors: errors and varieties. Some bicentennial quarters have double die errors, especially on the obverse. Look closely at the motto, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." If you see doubling, that's a strong indicator of a rare die variety. These types of errors can skyrocket the value of your coin. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even quarters struck on the wrong metal. Imagine a 1776 to 1976 quarter mistakenly struck on a nickel planchet or on a foreign coin blank. That's numismatic gold. And yes, these oddities have shown up at auctions and in private collections. Let's not forget the 40% silver versions. These were never released into general circulation, so if you stumble across one in your change, you've just hit a small jackpot. Check the edge of the coin. If it has a solid silver appearance with no copper strip, it might be the silver variety. Another key thing to watch for is the condition. A coin in mint state or proof condition, especially graded MS 65 or higher, is far more desirable than a worn, circulated piece. Collectors are always on the hunt for pristine examples, especially those with deep cameo contrast in proof versions or full drum lines on the reverse. So how much are these coins really worth? A regular circulated copper-nickel bicentennial quarter is still worth face value, 25 cents, unless it's in exceptional condition or has a notable error. Uncirculated examples can sell for a few dollars. But 40% silver quarters in mint state can be worth between $5 to $15 depending on the market and condition. Proof silver quarters can go even higher. Now for the serious collector numbers. A high-grade MS 67 or MS 68 bicentennial quarter, especially with full drum details or a dramatic double die, can fetch between $100 to several $100s. At auction, some rare error coins and ultra-high-grade specimens have sold for over $3,000. So, next time you see a 1776 to 1976 quarter, don't just spend it. Flip it, examine it, and appreciate the piece of American history in your hand. It might just be more than a quarter, it could be a treasure. Top 2, we are exploring the hidden secrets and surprising value behind the United States $quarter from the year 1988. You might have one lying around in your drawer, inside an old coin jar, or even sitting in your pocket right now, but don't be fooled by its ordinary appearance. Some 1988 quarters are turning heads in the collector world for all the right reasons, thanks to rare mint errors, high-grade conditions, and unique varieties that make this coin far more valuable than its face value. Let's take a closer look at why the 1988 quarter is more than just a piece of spare change. This coin features the classic design that many Americans recognize. The obverse shows the iconic portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, which has been in use since 1932. On the reverse, you'll find the heraldic eagle, wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. It's a design that screams American strength and heritage, but what makes the 1988 quarter stand out to collectors isn't just the design, it's the details, the condition, and the errors that can be hiding in plain sight. First, let's talk about the mints. In 1988, quarters were struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked with AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The majority of 1988 quarters were struck for circulation, but San Francisco minted special proof versions intended only for collectors. These proof coins have a mirror-like surface and razor-sharp details. If you spot one in circulation, you found something special. Now here's where the real excitement begins: the errors and varieties. There are some incredible mint errors known to exist for the 1988 quarter, and these are what make this coin extremely collectible. Among them, off-center strikes are one of the most desirable. These occur when the coin is not properly aligned during striking, and part of the design is missing or shifted. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, these can fetch significant value. Another rare type is the double die, where parts of the lettering or design appear to be stamped twice. If you carefully examine the words, "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date, 1988, and you notice any doubling, you could be holding a valuable variety in your hand. Even more impressive are quarters struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a 1988 quarter accidentally struck on a nickel or penny blank. These types of errors are very rare and are highly sought after at coin shows and auctions. Then there are clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a misfeed during the blank cutting process. These dramatic errors are instantly noticeable and are prized among error collectors. Condition also plays a massive role in determining the value of a 1988 quarter. A coin in average circulated condition is still worth 25 cents, but when you step into the world of high-grade uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS 65 and above, the value can climb quickly. Coins with strong luster, clean fields, and no visible wear are much more desirable to collectors. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also carry more value, especially if they are in perfect condition with no blemishes or scratches. These coins often feature deep cameo contrast, a frosted design on a mirrored background, and grading services like PCGS and NGC award high premiums to those in top shape. Now, let's talk about real-world value. A standard 1988 quarter from Philadelphia or Denver in circulated condition is generally worth its face value. But uncirculated examples in brilliant condition can fetch between $3 to $10. Proof quarters from San Francisco can range from $5 to $15, depending on their grade. Error coins, however, are where the big money lies. Off-center strikes or double die errors can sell for $50 to several $100, depending on severity and condition. Rare planchet errors or dramatic mint mistakes have sold at auction for over $1,000, and the highest graded 1988 quarters, particularly those with a grade of MS 67 or higher, have been known to reach auction prices of over $2,500. Top 3. We are diving into the story of a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. We're talking about the 1973 United States quarter dollar. If you've got one of these coins lying around, listen closely, because this might just be a hidden treasure. The 1973 quarter features the classic design we all recognize. On the front, George Washington's profile, and on the back, the powerful image of a bald eagle perched on arrows, wings spread. But while the design didn't change, what makes this coin valuable is what happened at the U.S. Mint during its production. This coin was struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S. While most coins were made for circulation, the San Francisco Mint produced special proof versions for collectors. These proof coins have a shiny, mirror-like finish and sharp details, and they're already more valuable. Now, here's where things get exciting. Certain 1973 quarters were struck with rare mint errors, and those are the coins that collectors are after. One of the most valuable errors is the double die. This happens when the design is struck twice by mistake, creating a doubling effect in the lettering or date. If you look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, or the numbers in the date, you might spot it. Another rare find is an off-center strike, where part of the coin's design is missing or shifted. The more off-center it is, the more valuable it becomes. And then there are coins struck on the wrong metal, for example, a quarter struck on a nickel or penny blank. These are extremely rare and can be worth hundreds, even thousands. Clipped planchets are another error to look out for. This is when a portion of the coin's edge is missing, a clear sign of a striking mistake that adds collector value. Condition also matters. A worn, circulated quarter might be worth face value, but an uncirculated one, especially if graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch far more. And proof coins in perfect shape, with deep cameo contrast, are prized among serious collectors. Now let's talk money. A regular 1973 quarter in circulated condition is worth about 25 cents. An uncirculated example can sell for $3 to $10. A proof quarter from San Francisco can bring $5 to $15 depending on condition, but here's the real deal: rare error coins, like double dies, off-center strikes, or wrong planchet strikes, have sold at auction for $50 to several $100. And high-grade quarters in near-perfect condition have reached prices of over $2,500. Top 4. We are talking about a coin that millions of Americans have handled, but very few truly know the hidden value behind: the 1979 United States quarter dollar. It might just be sitting in your pocket, change jar, or collection right now, looking like just another old coin. But what if that ordinary-looking quarter could be worth far more than face value? The 1979 quarter features the same familiar design seen for decades. On the front, we have the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, and on the back, the bold American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows. Strong, traditional, and patriotic. But not all 1979 quarters are created equal. This coin was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, No mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. Most of these quarters were made for everyday use, but there's more to the story for coin collectors and error hunters. Let's start with what makes the 1979 quarter valuable. First, mint errors. Some quarters were struck with double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled, especially noticeable on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubled features are highly collectible and can dramatically increase a coin's value. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is misaligned. The more dramatic the off-center error, the more desirable the coin becomes. And then there are wrong planchet errors, where the quarter was struck on a blank intended for another coin, like a nickel or a foreign coin. These mistakes are rare and can turn a 25-cent piece into a big payday. Some 1979 quarters also feature clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a minting mistake. These are easy to spot and very collectible, but error coins aren't the only ones to watch for. Condition is key. A 1979 quarter that's never been used, showing full details, bright luster, and no wear, is known as an uncirculated or mint state coin. These are far more valuable than average circulated ones. Then there's the proof version of the 1979 quarter, struck at the San Francisco Mint. These coins were made specially for collectors and not intended for circulation. They have sharp details and a mirror-like background, and some even show deep cameo contrast, frosted designs against a shiny surface. If you find one in perfect condition, it's definitely worth holding onto. Now, let's talk value. A regular 1979 quarter in circulated condition is usually worth just 25 cents. But if the coin is uncirculated and graded MS-65 or higher, it can be worth between $3 to $10. A proof version from San Francisco can sell for $5 to $15, depending on its condition and cameo quality. Here's where it gets exciting. Error coins from 1979, such as dramatic off-center strikes or double die varieties, can sell for $50 to several $100. And if you're lucky enough to own a high-grade, mint state 1979 quarter with a rare error or variety, it could sell at auction for more than $2,000. Top 5, and last rare coin, we are talking about one of the most talked about coins in American coin collecting, the 1965 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like just another Washington quarter, but this coin marks a major turning point in U.S. coinage history. And yes, some 1965 quarters are worth far more than 25 cents. If you're a coin collector or someone hoping to find treasure in your pocket change, listen closely, because this one is truly fascinating. In 1965, something big changed. Before this year, quarters were made of 90% silver. But rising silver prices pushed the U.S. Mint to switch the composition to a copper-nickel clad. So, the 1965 quarter became the first non-silver quarter produced for general use. It looks similar to earlier coins, but it's missing that valuable silver content. However, during this transition, not everything went perfectly, and that's where things get exciting. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These rare transitional errors are incredibly valuable today. One simple way to check is by looking at the edge. A silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, while a clad quarter will show a visible copper stripe. These silver 1965 quarters are extremely rare and highly sought after. Now let's talk about errors. The 1965 quarter is known for several kinds of valuable mistakes. There are double die errors, where letters or numbers appear doubled, especially in the words Liberty or the date. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin is blank. These are easy to spot and collectible, especially if the date is still visible. Other rare errors include clipped planchets, where a curved portion is missing from the coin's edge, and wrong planchet errors, where a quarter was mistakenly struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. These errors don't just make the coin unique, they can multiply its value many times over. Condition also plays a huge role. A 1965 quarter that is uncirculated, meaning it has never been used and has no wear, is worth more. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional services are in high demand. Even small differences in shine, luster, and strike quality can make a big difference in price. So what is a 1965 quarter really worth today? A regular 1965 quarter in circulated condition is generally worth its face value, just 25 cents. But an uncirculated example can be worth up to $10, depending on quality. A 1965 silver quarter error, if genuine, can sell for over $5,000. And rare errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or wrong planchets have sold at auction for up to $7,000 or more, depending on rarity and condition. So before you spend that old 1965 quarter, take a moment to check it carefully. It might just be a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy coin hunting and discovering the hidden value of everyday coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting finds.